greatest football podcast in the world.
Unbelievable stuff here, Jeff. I'm telling you now.
World Cup Willie, Euro 2012.
And after a 2-year hiatus, we are welcoming you back. We're now doing a World Cup Willie 2012 European adventure. And this year, we have returned myself, Tom.
Hello.
Josh, who can't be with us today, and the fourth member of the panel, Craig Luke.
Hello.
That was Craig Luke. And into this tournament, we got the European Championship starting in 2 days. Wednesday
Yes.
today, 2 days. So in this podcast, we're just going to analyse each group. Going to take an expansive look on England. We're going to look who we think is going to win it, some predictions, and just generally give you a feel about how we're looking forward to the tournament and what we think is going to happen in the tournament. So without further ado, we'll move on to a prediction for Group A, and I'm going to let Tom introduce that group.
Okay, so Group A consists of Poland, Greece, Russia and Czech Republic. Poland obviously co-hosting the tournament. Greece have won the thing. Russia alright, and Czech Republic got a decent team.
I think that group's pretty open, to be honest. Anyone could go through, but I fancy Russia to win that.
To be honest, out of the 4 groups, it's the easiest of the lot.
It's not the quality in that group's definitely far behind the other 3, and I think that maybe Russia will qualify from that group, and I would fancy Czech Republic to be the second team to qualify from that group, because Poland, I think, will suffer a similar fate to South Africa at the World Cup, and as hosts, they just don't have the quality of other teams and are only here for their hosting and wouldn't have qualified. And Greece really haven't done much since they won that tournament in 2004, which, to be honest, was a bit of a fluke run, and I can't see them repeating it and getting to the knockout stages. I don't know about you guys, but I would say Russia, then Czech Republic from that group.
Yeah, I'd imagine that. I mean, out of the 3 groups, that's the one I'm not entirely sure who finished second. Czech Republic obviously have more players that we know of, Petr Cech and Milan Baroš. But
Very good player.
to be honest, it's not a fantastic group. Russia will win it. Russia are gonna win that.
I think
group.
we're all agreed that Russia are going to win it, to be honest. But second, I can't choose between Czech Republic and Greece, to be honest. Fancy Greece to do an upset.
So we're all in agreement that Poland are coming bottom as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, another good host. Might as well give it to Scotland and let them host.
They want the 2020.
Yeah, at least we wouldn't have
they?
no racial abuse worries either.
Yeah.
We'll get onto that.
Well, we'll get on to that, okay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. So, as a World Cup Willie prediction stage, by democracy, it's Russia, Czech Republic, Greece and Poland for us in that group.
I
Yeah,
think so, yeah.
Although Craig fancies Greece, so, he might have some bragging rights.
Poland might pick up a point maybe against Greece, but I can't imagine them doing that.
They'll like that.
They'll take that. They've spent a lot on this tournament for that point.
Yeah.
Right, Group B. Holland, Denmark, Germany and Portugal.
Tough group. Very tough.
Definitely the toughest of the 4.
The patented group of death, if you would like.
There's always one.
Yeah, there's got to be one.
Thing is with that group, even Denmark are a decent side. Obviously, I don't see them going through, but they can. I think they can take points off the other sides.
I'd fancy them to go through if they were in Group A.
Yeah.
That shows the strength of that
exactly,
group.
Yeah.
But Denmark had Portugal in their qualifying group, and they finished top, and Portugal had to go through the playoffs. So there's something interesting there.
I think Portugal relying on Ronaldo too much, to be honest. But they have got some decent players still.
Yeah. You look at the Portuguese team isn't particularly bad. They just focus entirely on Ronaldo, stick him up top.
Also, well, since Queiroz come in for Portugal, they've been a bit of a nightmare. Because if I'm honest, like the qualifying group, I think they drew at home to Albania at one point, and at one point they were 4th in the group, looking like they wouldn't even make the playoff stages, and managed to strike a bit of form together. So whether that's the turning point was remain to be seen. But as you say, as a first 11 with players like Ronaldo, even Morelos, who's now a Champions League winner, Nani, and there's Pepe from Real Madrid. As a quality, they definitely can live with Germany and Netherlands. It's just whether they execute the talent they've got.
Well, they're doing a bit of a predicament because in their 23-man squad, they've taken 7 strikers.
7?
Yeah.
Well, didn't they only play one up front in the World Cup?
And imagine 2 wingers.
That's a 7 for one place.
Seems a bit excessive. Holland made the World Cup final 2 years ago.
I think they wasted their opportunity in that by trying to kick Spain out of it, to be honest.
I think they gave it a good go.
Yeah, it was a good run from Holland.
I can't see him repeating that run.
Tom, who would you say? What was your order for this group going to be?
Germany, Holland, Portugal, Denmark.
I think I'd go with the same, but it's going to be close. It could easily change.
Yeah.
I'll be the devil's advocate on this one then. I think we're all in agreement that Germany will win the group.
Yeah.
However, I don't think they'll get 9 points. I think they're going to slip up in one game, maybe 7, maybe 5. I don't know. I'm going to say Portugal to cause the upset and finally, raise their game to another level. Maybe Ronaldo has one of them games he has for Real Madrid all the time against Holland.
If he plays well, they can beat anyone in that tournament.
And then I'm going to say, I don't think Denmark. I think Denmark will get no points, unfortunately for them.
I can see Denmark taking a draw off someone. Maybe Portugal.
Maybe, perhaps.
Yeah. They won't go for
tough ask for them, but maybe for teams like Denmark, even though it sounds a bit patronising, maybe it's just good to be at the tournament.
Yeah,
and
I
then
don't think they go very far, to be honest.
Yeah, and then Netherlands 3rd and Denmark 4th for me then. So that would set up the quarter-final ties of Russia against Portugal and Czech Republic against Germany. They'll repeat the Euro 96 final.
Fancy both Group B teams to win them.
I fancy both Group B teams. And so Alan Hansen's prediction of them 3 Group B teams in the semi-final is 66% right.
Yeah.
Portugal have a knack of getting through into the knockout stages in all tournaments, especially in recent history, so I wouldn't put it past them. But with the quality that Holland have got,
and Germany,
I imagine
Germany make the semi-finals, quarter-finals, semi-finals every tournament.
Easily.
It goes without saying that Germany are going to make it.
Yeah.
Holland, they got to 2010. In 2008, they slipped up to Russia in the quarter-finals. They didn't. So that Holland aren't as a sure thing as Germany. As you say, Portugal just seem to have this ability to get through groups. So I fancy an upset in that group, if you could call it an upset with a team with Cristiano Ronaldo. But I'm saying Portugal.
Okay. So Group C. Spain, Italy, Ireland, Croatia.
Well, it's all about feast. Well, I imagine for you, it's all about Ireland in this group.
Being an Ireland fan.
Picking up 9 points, aren't they?
Mine, it's about 7.
Yeah, I don't know. Italy are in a bit of disarray at the minute. What with the match fixing scandal and
an Italian match fixing scandal.
It's every week now.
It's pretty commonplace.
Croatia have lost Olic.
Yeah.
They could potentially.
Oh, and going into the tournament, Ireland have only lost 1 in 14 under Trapattoni. They've only lost twice since Trapattoni's been in charge as well.
They're good. They're a good unit.
Tough to beat Ireland. I flip-flop from this group quite a bit, if I'm honest. I think most people would say Spain are going to win the group.
Yeah, you'd imagine so.
I think because was it in the World Cup, Spain lost to Switzerland in the opening game.
Yeah.
In Euro 2008, I don't think they played very well in their first game. And against Italy, I think Italy could get a point against Spain. But I've flip-flopped 3 times. When thinking about this, I've put Italy finishing second, Ireland finishing second, and Croatia finishing second.
I think all very good teams.
Yeah, I think a lot of it depends on Ireland against Croatia and Ireland and all the games against each other, and anything you get off Spain's a bonus. But I think Italy might get something off Spain before Spain kick into gear. So I'll say Italy scrape second place, and Ireland and Croatia fight out 3rd and 4th.
Italy usually step up, don't they? They're always quite decent.
Yeah, but logically, you'd expect Italy to get through that group.
I'd like to call the upset, but I'm not seeing it personally.
As much as I'd like Ireland to be there in the quarterfinals, maybe.
Spain have lost a few key players as well.
Yeah.
Villa out.
I think the thing with Italy now, though, is Italy, if you think of Italy over the years, it's the defensive work of Italy that makes it. They're not a defensive team anymore. They've got attacking players now, and defence is where they're weak. They've got players like Machisio coming from Juventus and Balotelli, who needs no introduction to anyone that watches the Premier League.
Yeah.
Their defence is where they've got problems, and I think it's Crisquito, the starting left back, has been wrapped up in this match fixing scandal, so he's not playing. So Italy are there to be taken for one of Ireland or Croatia if they really hit form. So for Ireland, when this group was drawn, they wouldn't have thought much of it, but now they probably fancy their chances.
I would really like to see Ireland do well as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Why not? So what's our what is our definitive?
What do you got? I'd say Spain, Italy. I'll say Ireland, Croatia. I'll say Ireland can come 3rd.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
I'm going to say Spain. I'm going to go with Croatia. Going to go with Croatia to finish 2nd. Italy 3rd and Ireland last, unfortunately.
I'm for the big call.
Well, you got to admire that, ain't you?
Stepping up in his first podcast.
And then the group we all know and love.
England, France, Ukraine, and Sweden.
This is a fun group.
It is. It's an interesting group in that everyone keeps telling me we're not expected to get out of it. I expect us to get out of it.
Who's not expecting England to get out of this group?
If you were to believe every paper and the BBC, we're not expected. Getting out of the group stage would be a big plus.
No.
No.
Surely not.
We're better than Ukraine, and we're better than Sweden, and we're probably as good as France.
Well, that's not, the world. I know the world rankings aren't the be-all and end-all of football, but England are 5th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. They came up today, didn't they?
Yeah, so if they're above France. They're 20, 30 places above Sweden and Ukraine. So if they don't get through the only thing I'd say is France have got tournament experience of going deep into tournaments, but they've also got tournament experience of going out very early.
Yeah, they've got a bit of backroom problems at the moment.
Yeah, they're Jekyll and Hyde when it comes to tournaments like this. Yeah. Ukraine are playing at home, so obviously but they're not very good. Without being horrible.
Who have they got? They've got Shevchenko still playing.
But he's about 50. I think they got Sergei Rebrov, who most Tottenham fans see as an £11 million waste of money.
That striker.
Yeah, and Voronin that was at Liverpool.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah.
So unless the Ukraine crowd is really, really partisan and can spur them on, surely England should be the favourites to win this group.
You've got to. Well,
not saying they will, but they've got to be the favourites.
I think they will be. I think we beat Ukraine, we beat Sweden and France. Well, if we pick up a point or maybe even a win there.
I'll say right now. My prediction would be England draw with France, beat Sweden, and draw Ukraine.
France are on a run at the moment with like 23 games that they haven't lost.
Yeah.
They beat Germany.
Yep.
They're a good team. They're a good team.
I'll say France win the group, England come second.
I think I'd probably agree with that.
I'm going to say England win the group, France second, Sweden third, Ukraine fourth.
For the home fans, I'll say Ukraine beat Sweden and come third.
Yeah, it's all going to kick off then. If one of those two don't go through, it's all going to kick off.
Well, maybe we give tournaments to teams that are good.
Maybe.
Like the World Cup's going to Brazil. I don't think there's any doubt Brazil will qualify.
Brazil probably win it.
Yeah, well, South American team will win that tournament. We all know it.
Nations that don't have racial issues with their fans.
Yeah,
I think we
we'll
will discuss that.
Yeah.
Well, then, if that's saying, we can give a tournament to England where there's just racial issues between the players instead.
Yeah.
Give it to Russia, maybe.
Well, speaking of England, as I've just brought it up, trying to provoke a reaction,
let's talk about England.
Let's talk John Terry, Rio Ferdinand. Where do we stand on this?
I think we got some strong views between us, conflicting views as well with this one.
My stance is John Terry he shouldn't be going simply because he's got a court case coming up for racial abuse. You've picked Terry over Ferdinand simply because we might have a better chance in a tournament, and that just seems wrong to me.
I think also Terry should not be there because any other job you've been accused of. You've got a court case hanging over you. I'm pretty sure you get suspended.
Probably. You probably get fired.
Yeah.
I've never been in that situation, but...
And I think it's unfair on Ferdinand that he's been left out because there's a rift between them and nothing to do with footballing issues.
You can say all you like, he can't play 4 games in 2 weeks or whatever, but does that matter?
Well, Ledley King went to the World Cup.
If you take Ferdinand, would he start? Do you think?
Well, but the question is, if you're going on form, in like all the centre-backs in England, you took all the best centre-backs in England, would John Terry start?
Well, yeah, it's a very good point.
Ferdinand, I still think Ferdinand's one of the best centre-backs in England. Even at 30, whatever he is, I still think he's up there.
I think if you take the football aside, and the fact that John Terry's court case was originally meant to be in February and March, but he's managed to get it moved. What average Joe on the street has got a court case can suddenly just say, I don't want my court case now, I want it in 4 months? It's an absolute joke that that can happen, and he can just decide when he goes to court and can play in this tournament. Even though I'm not going to say obviously you can't say he's guilty or not guilty, but I saw what I saw from the lip reading, and it looked like he said what's been accused. And the moral of the story that the FA are giving out is if you're good at football, you can say what you want, and you didn't get away with it.
Yeah.
And that's not really, if we're going to talk about role models and being role models to kids, and the FA setting examples, they've kind of set the worst example possible.
He's had the captain's armband taken away from him twice in 2 years.
Yeah.
And he still gets in the England team simply because he's John Terry.
I think what the FA should have done is just said, no, you won't play for England until this court case is gone. If you're innocent, well, we're sorry, you're back in the England team. But
I think the court case, if the court case was in February,
Yeah.
when it was supposed to be, or March when it was supposed
we'd
to
have
be.
this problem sorted.
Well, yeah, either if he's guilty, he's not going because he's been charged with racism. Ferdinand can go. He's one of the best 3 centre backs without a doubt that England could have taken.
Yeah.
And then if he was not guilty, Ferdinand and Terry can solve their issues because the court of law's found that Terry didn't do anything, and they can both go.
On a separate note, it just seems like a sign of desperation from the FA to have John Terry going because he's a good footballer. It's not like we don't have other centre backs who can take his place.
Well, and the fact that they said Rio Ferdinand's not going for footballing reasons, when they're taking purely footballing reasons can only mean his age or he can't play with 3 games. But they're taking Gareth Barry. I know he's injured now, but they're taking Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, John Terry, Wayne
Scott
Rooney's
Parker's
going.
not
Scott Parker's
young,
injured.
is he?
Rooney can't play the first 2 games, but he's going.
Yeah.
So there's so many double standards and such hypocrisy from the FA that they kind of lose all credibility when they say things like this and do things like this.
It is. But there are other players aside from those 2. What do we think of the England team in general? The 23 he's
Should
taken.
we talk about the absence of Mika Richards? Which I think we all agreed is a bit of a funny
Right.
decision.
It's a travesty.
Better than Glenn Johnson.
But let's say
It's better than Kelly,
like Kyle Walker was going to be the starting right back.
which I think we all agree
Yeah, which
should have been.
good player, very young, obviously got talent.
He would have
But
learned
when
as well.
when he's injured, the next 3 right backs, like someone's telling me that first Mike Richards isn't one of the best 3 right backs or centre back, right back, someone that can play both in the country. Then Kyle Walker gets injured, and someone's telling me he's not in the best 4. Then there's another injury, and someone's telling me right now that Michael Richards isn't one of the best 5 right backs in this country.
I couldn't name 5 right backs.
He-
English right backs.
Well, for Liverpool this season, centre back has been Jamie Carragher or Dan Uaga or Martin Skirtle,
Yeah.
and right back Glenn Johnson. So Martin Kelly's not getting in either position starting for his team,
I
and
think
Michael
you
Richards
can't
won a
take-
Premier League medal.
You cannot take a player that doesn't start for their club as a second right back.
Yeah, I heard that he was offered the
Especially
chance
for
to be
Liverpool.
on the standby list, but he refused to be on the standby
Yeah, I
list.
think that
That's why
is a bit of a mistake by him, but
misjudged the
he still-
situation.
he still should have gone in the
However-
first place.
I heard Michael Carrick did exactly the same as well, didn't he?
Yeah, apparently he retired in February and kept it under wraps.
He just told his mum and dad or something.
Yeah.
But no, as a squad on the whole, the only complaints I'd probably have is I'm not sure it's a complaint because I personally probably would have taken another winger over Stuart Downing. But then at the same time, who would you take? He might not even start. So
I
who
just
could
don't
who
understand
who
how you
would
can take
instead?
a left winger who doesn't score or assist. Like,
Yeah.
Pretty sure I could have strolled into the Liverpool's team and got a goal or an assist.
Adam Johnson's sitting at home.
Right, Amazon's going, isn't he? Is he not?
No.
I'm pretty sure he's in the squad.
Glenn Johnson's there. Adam Johnson.
Is he not?
No. He was on the
that's
standby list.
What a joke! And yet Jordan Henderson's going as well.
Yeah.
What
That's
is
a-
happening?
I think Adam Johnson needs. I think he'd benefit from being at a different club. To be honest,
Yeah, I think
where
he's at
he
a
will
point-
get played.
Yeah. I think he's at a point in his career he's got to decide whether he wants to be a Man City.
We've all seen his ability. He's clearly a decent winger.
Well, I think he's a better player than Downing.
Yeah.
Uh,
That said, in the friendlies leading up to the tournament, Downing did look alright when he played, from what I saw.
Putting a beauty of a ball to Carroll.
But it's
Carroll
different.
should have
It's
scored.
difference being decent in exhibition matches to
Yeah.
doing it consistently in the tournament. Because most players, you've seen Ronaldo and Messi struggle to do it consistently in major tournaments, and Stuart Downing certainly isn't Ronaldo or Messi. What would you? This is a debate that's had quite a bit of issues. Carroll or Crouch?
I don't know. This is a bit of
We're going on recent form. We're going on the last month of the Premier League season. It's got to be Carroll. And he's come into a bit of form. He played in the FA Cup final, and when he came on, he looked pretty good. In fact, he looked magnificent. He looked every bit worth what they paid for him in that game alone. And then he played Chelsea again a few days later and tore John Terry to pieces. So based on that, you've got to take Carroll. But over the course of the season, in fact, over the course of the last 2 seasons, you've got to take Crouch.
But then my issue with that would be, Carroll. I know he's 4 inches shorter than Crouch, but he's more of an aerial presence. He's bigger. He wins
puts himself
more.
about.
He's what you'd call an old-fashioned number 9, I guess. The
Yeah.
way he works. And he's just something different. He's difficult for defenders to handle because he's so difficult to keep out of the game and stop marking. Whereas Peter Crouch, as good as his goal scoring record's been for England, you have to take into account a lot of them are against minnow nations in friendlies.
He scored a hat-trick against Jamaica.
Yeah, exactly. He got Jamaica, and that's taking nothing away from him because a goal's a goal. But let's not pretend to ourselves that Peter Crouch is the saviour and the difference between winning the tournament and not winning the tournament.
Yeah.
I think I can't wait to see what Carroll and Rooney can produce together. Well, providing the formation lets them play together.
I think
At this point, I
that'd be nice.
I wouldn't have Carroll starting.
Welbeck
ahead of him.
Welbeck's finish against Belgium was, I think we agreed that was a very good finish.
I don't know. I think I'd probably play Carroll if I'm honest. Well, in the first games, if Rooney's not playing,
We can probably play both of them, to be fair.
they've
been playing
I think
well.
Ashley Young might play in that
Ashley
slot
Young's been
behind,
playing.
and Ashley Young's
playing
looked
very well
well.
in it.
Yeah.
He's looked a good player.
I think Carroll and Ashley Young might work well, purely for the fact that I think Carroll's better in the air and Welbeck.
Yeah.
And I think Ashley Young's will be there for the knockdowns. Ashley Young can play making that little hold in just behind the striker and in between the defenders and the midfielders. And I think he can cause havoc in that sort of role. So I'd like to
Put
see
him on
that.
the wing if you want to change things.
Exactly.
So, anyone fancy Oxlade to start?
I'd like to see him start.
I hope so.
If we're taking him as why we took Wayne Rooney in 2004, you've got to start him at that point.
I really want to say he shouldn't be at the tournament because he started 5 Premier League games.
That's Arsenal.
But how good has he looked when he plays for Arsenal?
He took on AC Milan, who are they're definitely one of the best teams in the world, in the top 10, I'd imagine. And he looked very good. He looked very accomplished.
Was he not on the short list for Young Player of the Year out of them 5 games
Probably.
or something like that?
He's Theo Walcott, but he's bigger, stronger, and better with the ball.
I think the confidence is there. He's he's not afraid to take things on. He's not afraid to run at players.
And he doesn't get pushed off the ball very easy. He's a big lad, considering how young he is and how small he is, height wise. But
it's going to seem cliched, but he almost seems fearless. He doesn't fear anyone.
That's what you get with youngsters sometimes. It's just, could be good at a tournament.
I think he's definitely a wild card worth taking because he might be completely innocuous in games, and you might not see him, you might not notice him, but he might just set the tournament alight because I imagine not many teams know about it. More respect.
Let's hope they don't do what they did to Walcott and just leave him sat there. I think you've got to give him a go.
Yeah, I'd give him a go. I think I'd
see what he can do.
Well, if we're going into this tournament with low expectations, if you believe everyone,
who would you start? 11. Obviously, Joe Hart in goal.
Should we go with a goalie? Yeah, Joe Hart. I think
Glenn Johnson,
possibly the best goalie in the world.
It's a no better option. I know there's obviously not, but
they should play Phil Jones in that position.
I wouldn't.
I don't. He's not as good at the right back. He's
not
a right back.
Let's get Richards in there.
And then centre backs, I imagine it's going to be Lescott and Terry.
Yeah, but there's an issue there because they're both left-footed. So it's a bit imbalanced.
I'm pretty sure Terry's right-footed, but just plays on the left of centre defence.
And just switch them then.
Yeah, that's but it's John Terry, so I bet
that's what he wants.
Yeah, he'll end up playing on the left side. But really, what is I know there's probably a little difference in adjusting, but there surely can't be that much adjustment from playing closer to the right back rather than closer to the left back.
It probably makes. I'm not a defender, so I don't know.
I think it's the Chelsea link between Cole and Terry.
Maybe. Yeah, it could be. But then at the same time, Lescott's left-footed, Terry's right-footed.
He's very good towards the end of the season.
And Lescott's a lot younger than, not a lot, I don't know how much younger he is, but he's younger than Terry. He's coming in his first tournament where he's playing. Surely put him in a position he's most comfortable in. Terry's surely got the experience to come and just
move across.
Yeah, just slot across.
I can't imagine they'd be tied down to them. They're going to be moving around. It's a football game, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. So I think that's sort of a non-issue the way.
Yeah.
But then left back's obviously Ashley Cole.
Yeah,
probably
left back in the world.
He's probably the most underappreciated England player of all time because of his antics off the pitch.
Yeah,
but
sort of overshadows how good a player.
But the way he's going, I think he could get his 100th cap, couldn't he, this tournament?
He's played a lot. He's been playing since.
Yeah, he's going to break Peter Shilton's record. I think the way he's going.
He
really could.
Doesn't look like slowing down.
And if you think, if Ashley Cole wasn't about, how many caps Leighton Baines would have? Because Leighton Baines is a brilliant player.
He must be annoyed.
He was just born into the wrong era.
There's never been a worse time to be a left-footed Englishman.
He's a very good player, and Ashley Cole's better.
And he's got about 4 caps, bless him.
Midfield.
Well, we've been playing that a weird formation recently, haven't we? With
The Pentagon, 5 in the middle.
Oh, alright, let's assume they're going to play that. It's defence midfielder.
Parker.
Parker, okay.
He does a job in there.
And then I imagine Gerrard will be in the centre.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
he's
Gerrard
got to play
plays where he
Gerrard.
wants.
He's
But
sort of
I'd play him in the centre
Yeah.
rather than like in the World Cup when he played on the right wing sometimes, the left wing
wasted. I think he is on the wings.
On the wings, who would your wingers be?
I would
I
go
want to
with.
put Oxlade.
Yeah, I want to put Oxlade on the right.
Put him in there.
I'd probably go Chamberlain and Walcott.
I don't want to see Walcott play.
I quite like
to be honest.
Walcott.
I think
I don't know
he's-
why.
I think he's poor with the ball. His crossing's poor. I'm not a huge fan of Walcott, in case you haven't guessed.
The thing is,
but-
he sometimes he can clip.
yeah, exactly.
and
That's
he
the
can
thing.
win a game.
Yeah, but I think Walcott with his pace is more impactful with
I think
25 minutes to go, bringing him off the bench.
defenders
Yeah.
fear him. Though.
And I'd play him up front rather than on the wing if you're going to bring him on late on in a 2 up front.
Maybe he scores. He does score goals.
Yeah.
He can. He's capable of scoring goals.
But what are the wingers in the squad then? There's Chamberlain, Walcott,
Downing.
We've got Milner, who can play just about anywhere.
See, people don't like Milner, but I take to him because I think he's a utility player.
he's a good player.
He can go
And
anywhere.
in the centre, if Gerrard got injured or Parker got injured, I'd like Milner and you'd be comfortable with
I
Milner
think
in the
he
centre
does.
midfield.
He does a job. I think.
But he's not a winger.
No, I wouldn't play him.
He's got a great delivery, but he's got no pace and he's got he can't take players on, I don't think. But I don't
From
know.
a technical standpoint, he is.
So if I'm stuck between Downing or Walcott, I'll probably say Downing on his left foot.
I think he might play well for England. You don't know, do you?
And
He
he's-
might.
He's looked good against
And all
Norway and Belgium.
the criticism of Stuart Downing, one thing you can never criticise is he's got a good left foot.
He has got. He's got a good left boot. But how was he not going to assist?
He can put a ball in. Maybe give Downing the first couple of games. Let's see what we get.
see what he
If
does.
nothing else, it gives the papers something to moan about if England lose the first game.
We have Ashley Young, attacking midfield.
Yeah,
I
just-
would. He's
just
been
behind.
played very well.
Just behind Carroll for
Yeah,
me.
I'm going to go Walcott. Not Walcott. Welbeck.
Instead of Carroll.
United bias, but no, he looked good against Belgium. Scored a cracking goal. Got himself about a bit. I say I think Welbeck's been a bit more consistent over the course of the season. That swings it for
I
me.
think that's a bold move playing Welbeck. And do you think Hodgson would take that move?
I think he'll play Carroll.
I think he'd go with Carroll, to be honest.
Yeah, probably.
England's chances in the tournament.
I'll say quarterfinals if they come second in the group. If they win the group, I think they can make the semi-finals.
If we win the group, we come against.
Spain or Italy.
Which is
No, Spain.
Probably
Well, it would be
well.
Italy, wouldn't it? Or if Croatia.
yeah. You never
We can
know.
beat
You never
them.
know.
It could be either of them.
Let's not get our hopes up. Let's just get through the group stage.
Let's
And-
theoretically, what's the best you think England could do?
Semis.
Semis.
So no one believes they can win the tournament.
No, 'cause if we get to the semis, we'll come against Germany, and Germany are going to win it. So
Which I think is that it may be good for England. No one expects this. At last tournament, everyone gets a few weeks in front of the tournament. Everyone's like, "Yeah, we're going to win it." And
It
just
might
doesn't happen.
it might be like little things, but under Hodgson, you just see some little differences in the team. Like even little things like singing the national anthem before the game, and going over to applaud the fans after games and things like that. It seems they're a lot more cohesive than they were going into the tournament 2 years ago. Then maybe if you're feeling better off the pitch, maybe the performances on the pitch are slightly better. And you just never know.
Have you been watching Hodgson during his press conferences?
I've seen a couple.
He's a very interesting man. He makes the most boring things sound like proper. It's like when I talk to my granddad. He's quite an interesting character. I like him.
Bit off topic.
But if we're talking about off the pitch,
Yeah.
And Henderson.
he's a great player.
Well,
isn't he?
I guess the only thing that I'd say is if you're pretty convinced that Gerrard's playing that position ahead of Henderson, then maybe it's just good experience for him because he might turn out to be a good player down the line, Henderson, and going to a tournament and being around these players might be good for him in the future.
Maybe, hopefully. He's not doing it for me at the moment.
But worst case scenario, we go into the game against Ukraine needing a win. Gerrard's injured, Parker's injured. We're playing Phil Jones and Henderson in the middle.
Don't see.
Well, the future's now then.
Throw him in the deep end.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, who would you have taken instead? Maybe because if you'd have taken Michael Carrick's been there before. Michael Carrick's proven time. Michael Carrick's a brilliant player if you're 2-0 up, and you want to win the game. But if you're playing Ukraine, 20 minutes to go, desperate for a goal. I don't want Michael Carrick on the pitch if you're needing to win the game. And hopefully, knock on wood, Gerrard doesn't get injured anyway, and this point becomes mute.
Yeah, of course. Well, let's do winners. Winners of the tournament. Go.
I'm gonna go with Holland. I just think they can. Listen, I don't know. I just got a feeling Holland will win it. I can't pinpoint why. I think they learn from 2010 and do well in the tournament and win it. Beat Germany in the final. If that's possible.
I think it is possible. Or would they play in the semis?
They can play in the final, yeah.
Can they? Okay. I don't know. I'll probably say Spain, although I'm not convinced entirely that Spain will win it because they've got a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
But they've got so much quality all over the pitch. Part of me really wants to go out on a limb and say France will win it, but I'll
That'd
stick.
be a bold statement.
So I'll stick with Spain. But I'd say watch out for France because I think they could do it.
Interesting.
I'm going to go Germany.
I think a lot of people fancy Germany.
Well, Germany seems to be the attractive pick among punters, it seems.
Well, they look very good in the World Cup. It's
They
2
did.
years on. They're mature. Players have improved technically. Ozil's now playing a key role for Real Madrid. I can't see past them personally. I think they'll play Spain in the final, and I think they'll beat them 2-0, and it'll be a comfortable 2-0. They're a good team.
I can't see Germany beating Spain 2-0, but
I'd never fancy Spain to get nil in a game. But I see what you're saying. Germany obviously are a quality team, and it wouldn't surprise me if they won it. But maybe with all the expectation, the fact that not 2 years ago, they flew through the group and then really done Argentina a good one, just absolutely annihilated Argentina. But come unstuck against Spain, so maybe they'll have a game where they come unstuck again.
Maybe that's a mental thing though. Maybe they're just getting past the barrier.
But for Germans, it always seems like they're going to go deep into the tournament, so it is a pretty safe bet saying Germany could win the
I think
tournament.
this tournament is quite open, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd say there's 6 teams that could win this tournament.
whereas the World Cup,
Realistically.
it was a bit Spain, weren't it?
Spain were definitely the
Yeah,
overwhelming
whereas
favourite.
It's just a bit more open.
In this
the
tournament,
Euros.
I could conceivably see the 3 teams from Group B, France, Spain, or Italy winning it.
I'd love
Yeah.
to say England, but just can't see it.
Or maybe. There's always part of me that I'll always have an undying belief that we can do something.
My thing when you think about England winning the tournament, because England are always going to be backed in this country to win a tournament, and that's going to reflect in the odds and the bookmate. It's just how you also have to look how other countries see England, and I don't think many of them see England as a threat in this
Team to
tournament.
win it, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
if you spoke to Spain or Italy now and said you played England in the quarterfinals, I don't think they'd fear that.
No,
Playing
we
I
need
think
to
they would
make a
fancy
statement,
themselves.
yeah.
I think they would. In the groups.
Yeah. We need to make a big statement against France on Monday. And just let it go from there.
So, the Golden Boot, David Villa's injured, he won't be in the tournament. There's not an overwhelming Golden Boot favourite. For Spain, there's so many strikers that you're just not sure whether they're going to play, because Llorente,
If Torres
Torres
turns up, if Torres turns up,
they've
they
got
could take it
Negredo
easy.
and Llorente as well, and the chances are they'll only play one central striker, so you just never know who it'll be. So I'll sit on the fence. I would say Van Persie, but I've predicted Holland not to get out of the group stages, so that would be a bit of a contradiction. So I'll say Mario Gomez for Golden Boot.
Gomez. No, he's rubbish.
but he has scored like 30 odd goals. So he's got a knack for finding the net.
That's true. Can't count out Klaus, or Klose, however you want to pronounce it. He always ends up
Scoring a
up
few.
there. Ronaldo has got 70 goals this season.
See, I fancy Ronaldo to take it because I'm pretty sure he's going to score all of Portugal's goals if they score any.
So whether
It's really
you go
difficult.
Ronaldo.
It's really difficult because I want to say Ronaldo, but I can't see him getting out of the group stage.
Mm.
You look at Pavel Pogrebniak.
It's not a bad shout, but
Yeah.
if Russia can.
Interesting.
My thing for that would be, as a dark horse, Mario Balotelli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be.
Why not?
I want to say Ronaldo because
I'll stick with Gomez, but
I fancy them to get out of the group, and if they're going to score a goal, you'd think it would come from him. To be honest, I can't see where else it's going to come from.
So you fancy Portugal to get out of the group, but think Holland will win it?
So that'll be Germany going out.
Yeah.
Well, that certainly can go down as a bold prediction, which is going to be our next thing. So, any bold predictions for the tournament?
Ireland to upset everyone and beat Italy.
Okay.
Yeah, 3-1.
I think the whole tournament, I'll say, well, it's not really a huge prediction, but Holland to get knocked out in the group stages and France to make the final.
So much inconsistency here. I want Ireland to get through the group stages, but previously I said they won't. Whatever.
If you didn't bring that up, surely people might not have even put 2 and 2 together.
No.
And if you did put 2 and 2 together, you're probably too intelligent to be listening to this.
Obviously, my bold prediction is Croatia going through in their group, but it's going to be a tough one. But if they play well, it could be done.
Well, they're in that group with Italy, who've had an awful Euro 2008, an appalling World Cup. Is that going to carry?
But
over?
last time they had a scandal like this, they did rally and win the World Cup.
Wow.
So it could go. It could go your way. But then when France had scandals, they got 1 point and got knocked out. So when you have this sort of problem coming into the tournament, it really can go either way. So Italy's definitely an interesting story to watch and see how it unfolds.
Yeah. Okay.
So when are we? Next one will probably be after the first round of group games. We'll come back.
First round of group games will finish on Monday, so
And hopefully we'll have Josh with us, mate, with his
we'll see when
footballing knowledge.
his rota seems to be every Friday he gets a day off. So we might have to
We might do it Friday then.
have to look into it. That's when
Friday.
England are on then on Friday.
That's our second game.
Yeah. So we'd have some.
We'd
We'd
have
have the
something
entire
to talk
first
about.
round. And
Well, we'd have.
some second
It'll be a
round.
marathon podcast then.
It's been pretty big.
Yeah,
We had 40 minutes.
that's alright. If you've listened to 40 minutes, then thank you.
Oh. Okay. We'll put this on iTunes. We'll get Tom Idle to put it on iTunes.
Oh yeah, a quick shout out to Tom. Thank you for all the hard work you've done.
He literally pushed his internet connection to the ends of the world to get us on iTunes. We'll put it on YouTube as well. And what I'll do is...
Are we?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yes.
We'll put it on
Expanding.
iTunes. We'll put it on iTunes and then put it on YouTube a couple of days afterwards. So if you're dedicated, you can subscribe.
And you can watch it twice.
Yeah, do that, please. So yeah, we'll see you soon. Hopefully with Josh. That's it, is it?
Bye.
So yeah.
Bye bye.